Speaking on concerns surrounding the foster care system is actually a passion of mine, as I grew up in foster care and I know how horrific a system like that can be and how detrimental it could be to the children that are placed there. I will definitely be doing a deeper dive on this, especially with the upcoming video about the situation that took place in Baltimore with the 2 children found in the aunt's trunk. Right now we're going to touch on a case out in Alabama. An Alabama state contracted worker has been arrested in connection with the death of a 3-year-old boy. Little TorriusStarkes Jr. was discovered last week after he was left unattended in a hot car for several hours in the sweltering Alabama heat. We're going to take a listen to the video. Everything is alleged, fair use, and trigger warning. This video may be triggering to some. If you are easily triggered, please click off now.
This morning, we're learning more about a case involving a 3-year-old boy who died Tuesday after he was left in a hot car for hours. Now, this toddler was in the care of a contract employee with Alabama's Department of Human Resources, the state's Child Protective Services agency. CNN's Rafael Romo has more. Rafael?
Victor, the day the 3-year-old boy identified as TorriusStarkes was allegedly left strapped inside the car was humid, with temperatures ranging from 93 to 96 degrees during the 5 hours in the afternoon he was left alone. According to our own CNN meteorologist, those temperatures felt like 101 to 105 degrees with heat index values, not only considering the car the boy was in direct sunlight, as the family's attorney claims. According to officials and the family's attorney, a worker employed with a company contracted by the Alabama Department of Human Resources picked up the boy, who went by KJ, from daycare at 9 in the morning on Tuesday for a supervised visit with his father. The visit, they say, ended around 11:30 a.m. But instead of returning the boy to the daycare, the family's attorney says the contract worker made several personal errands with KJ buckled in a car seat in the back of her car. The attorney says the worker finally returned home by 12:30 p.m., parking her car and leaving the 3-year-old boy strapped inside the vehicle with all windows up and the car engine off. It was not until 5 hours later, Victor, around 5:30 in the afternoon, when the worker received a call from the daycare asking why the boy had not been returned, that she apparently realized what had happened. This, according to a timeline the attorney provided. 911 was called and KJ was pronounced dead at 6:03 p.m. This is how the boy's father told CNN affiliate WBTM he will remember his son.
Small, brilliant, bright little child. I'm talking about, when I say yeah, respectful. I'm talking about knew how to count, knew his colors. 3 years old. Knew all the animals. I'm talking about, he was very intelligent.
Yes, he was, bro. He was real nice and all that.
Like, he was just joyful.
I had an opportunity to speak with Courtney French, the family's attorney. He told me he spoke with the family about what they're going through right now, and they're understandably having a hard time coping with the loss of their child.
It's just hard to comprehend that you would leave a baby in a hot car and just have no recollection whatsoever that the baby's a 3-year-old child is trapped in your car. He died a brutal death.
CNN also obtained a statement from the Alabama Department of Human Resources. A child in DHR custody, the statement reads, was being transported by a contract provider when the incident occurred. Due to confidentiality, DHR cannot comment further regarding the identity of the child or the exact circumstances.
Like I said at the beginning of the video, a caseworker has been arrested for this. 54-year-old Kela Stanford was accused of one account of leaving a child, an incapacitated person, in a vehicle unattended. Let's take a listen.
Right now, we are learning more about just what happened to 3-year-old TorriusStarkes Jr., KJ to his family, a child who died after he was left inside a hot car last week.
Well, that little boy was in DHR custody while he was transported through a company DHR uses called Covenant Services. Your reporter Bria Chapman in studio now with more from a conversation between the family and the person transporting the child who is accused of leaving the little boy in the vehicle.
This audio was extremely hard to hear. Now, we are not able to share it with you all on air due to legal reasons, but I will be breaking it down, what was said, including how the transporter says they forgot TorriusStarkes was in their back seat. The recording we received from a family member only has part of the conversation, which begins with the transporter explaining what happened. She says, "I went to the daycare and I got sidetracked and stopped off and got something to eat. And when I came out, instead of going to the left to the daycare because I got called and said I didn't have a case, I instantly said to myself, oh, I'm done for the day. I'm going to go home." Stark's father responds to that, saying that they left his son. The transporter then says that instead of going to the daycare, they came home and forgot Starkes was in their back seat. Now, they repeatedly apologize and say that there are not enough words to express how bad they feel. This is when one of Stark's relatives comes in. She responds and says, "That baby died in a car. He suffocated. He didn't have no help, no nothing. You had the child safety lock on the doors. You didn't think to look in the back seat?" The transporter responds and says, "No, ma'am, I did not." They proceed to explain what happened, and she ends with saying, "I wouldn't have killed no child." Now, they continue to talk a little bit before the recording ends, and the Jefferson County Coroner's Office says Starkes sat in the backseat of a car on Pine Tree Drive from 12:30 until 5:30, and sadly, he was pronounced dead 30 minutes later. Yeah, and I did reach out to the family's attorney, but so far we have not heard back. I also checked in with the Birmingham Police Department to see if there were any updates in the case. So far, they say they do not have any, but the family will be holding a vigil for TorriusStarkes Friday night outside of DHR, the location in Bessemer.
I will be bringing you more stories like this one. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, hitting that notification bell, setting it to all so you'll be notified anytime I go live, upload, or premiere. Please be kind to one another. Unapologetically Mika, out.